Have you ever dreamt about building the perfect farmhouse? Well, I did for years. But as you'll see today, the perfect plan sometimes shows up in the most unexpected ways, and it never goes exactly how you pictured. I'm Deanne from Hummingbird Acres, and today I'm finally sharing our dream farmhouse plans, including the little and big changes that we made to this house to fit our modern homestead life. Stick around to see the view that sold us and hear how Plan B became the best thing that ever happened to us. If you're new here, welcome. I am a busy mom, a former Maryland girl, and a believer that you can build a simple, meaningful life without giving up the comforts you love, like the washer and dryer, and for me, the dishwasher. Our family has dreamed of this home for years. From the open kitchen to the mudroom for the muddy boots, every choice we made came from real, lived-in needs, not just Pinterest perfect plans. Honestly, I've been searching house plans since I was in middle school. No joke here. I wanted a home that felt just right for family, food, and old-fashioned togetherness, but nothing ever fit the bill. The house my parents built in Maryland. I loved how everyone gathered around the wood-burning stove and how the basement became our unofficial pantry for all of the things we canned. Still, we knew there were things that we'd update. For instance, the kitchen in the Sloop Point farmhouse just wasn't big enough, and it was the gathering spot for everything. So we knew we wanted a big kitchen with a big island that was open to the dining and the living room. Jamie, with his help of his friend Mike, fell in love with a double basin, double drain board sink that they had found while exploring Assateague years ago. And that sink became a non-negotiable for this new farmhouse. And when I found one on Facebook Marketplace 2 years before we even found this land, you better believe I bought it, and we've been storing it ever since. And we all agreed this house needed to be simple, but flexible enough that it could grow with us, just like the farmhouses of the old days. Here's where the universe stepped in. I spent years hunting for a floor plan that had it all. I found a few almost, but nothing that checked all the boxes. Then, right after Nana's house build fell through, a photo popped up on my Facebook feed. The outside of the house was exactly what I had pictured. I clicked, and the floor plan was almost perfect. It was just missing the wood-burning stove. I saved the link, not quite ready to show Jamie yet because he was over looking at all of the house plans that I found every single week. Until we got really serious about building. And then I showed him the floor plans, and him and I and my dad sat down to review the plans and see what exactly needed to be changed. And believe it or not, our list was pretty short. We needed the wood-burning stove added, which would change the fireplace and the chimney. And we needed to make sure that we could rearrange the basement stairs so that eventually we could put a chairlift in for Nana, which then rearranged the master bathroom and took out the linen closet that we really didn't need. At first, I had asked my dad if he wanted to sketch the changes, but he suggested the designer might be quicker. So I reached out to the designer online and waited for what felt like an eternity. 3 weeks later, I got a call from a Lynchburg number, right down the road from our build site. Turns out the house was originally built in Virginia, just 45 minutes away. It felt like fate. And the designer could make our changes quickly and for a good price. We, of course, said yes. After the first drawings came back from the designer, we needed to make a couple more changes. And these changes actually came from a conversation I had with my dad about furniture. Specifically, we were talking about what furniture I would be taking from our house in Maryland and putting into this new house. We realized that to fit my grandmother's hutch and farmhouse table in the dining room, we needed to lengthen the wall on the half bath so that the hutch would fit. We also had to make sure there was a couple other pieces that would fit. So I sent all of these changes to the designer, And he made them, and it was perfect because we could carry on the family memories and the legacy of those pieces and a few other pieces that I'll share later lives on. We also made a couple of other changes to accommodate our modern homestead life, and I'm so grateful we made these. One of the changes is we took out the linen closet that was in the master bathroom. That created space for a real mudroom with a washer and dryer, which is critical for our soil, which is red clay, and I can never get it out of anything. Moving the laundry gave us room for a bigger pantry on the main floor. Homestead moms, you know the snack struggle is real. Definitely needed that bigger pantry. And because we are doing a walkout basement, we dedicated part of that walkout basement, and we were able to do it in the coldest part, the part that's underground, for cold storage and pantry space, which is going to be perfect for all of our canning and preserving. So as you can see, we really did think about our vision and our long-term goals and made sure that those were incorporated in this house, in the house plans, even before we started building. If you're dreaming of your own build, here is my best advice to you. Start a note on your phone where you can put pictures and you can take little notes about things that you love. When you visit homesteads, when you visit friends' houses, make note of things that you love. I remember doing this when I would visit my friend Becky's house. They just did a kitchen reno, and I loved how her cabinets, her lower cabinets in the corners, they had shelving that swung out so that you could use all of that space. And I made that note in my phone so that when I met with the kitchen designer, I could bring it up and show it to her and be like, I really want this. It really helps you come up with ideas so you're not like deer in the headlights when you actually go to build. Another thing that has been game changer for us is finding a designer or a builder who really listens and understands our family needs, not just what's trendy. So I have conversations with our designer and our builder just about on a weekly basis about things that we need and why things are structured the way they are. Why we have a wood burning stove, why this specific space needs to be kept as clean as possible, and I don't want the water heater in there, and I don't want all of these pipes and wires everywhere. Really make sure that they understand the vision and what your end goals are so that you're not constantly having this tug of war back and forth with them on what something should be and what something shouldn't be. All of these things about compiling your list of things that you want and having your vision is great, but you also need to be really flexible, because here's a funny thing. Our spot of our house actually wasn't our first choice. This is actually plan B. The first location years ago when we were looking at buying this property, the first location we wanted for the house didn't perk, which means we couldn't put a septic system there. So this is plan B, our second choice. And our second choice has ended up having the best mountain views in the entire county. Yes, I've been told this by many of inspectors. And now I can just picture myself with a glass of tea sitting on my great-grandmother's rocking chairs on the front porch, watching the birds fly over the garden and the beautiful sunsets over the mountain. It wasn't what we planned, but it was actually everything that we needed. So building your dream farmhouse isn't about getting it perfect the first time. It's about being open to changes, listening to your family's stories, and saying yes to unexpected blessings. If you're on your own journey, building, renovating, or just dreaming, I'd love to hear your questions. Drop them in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for updates as we start this next chapter. Thank you for being part of our Hummingbird Acres family. See you soon, right here with muddy boots, full pantries, and a farmhouse full of memories.